is Dr. Anil Ramesh from Shivaraman Institute of Management. My question is for Shiva. You were just talking about this university vice chancellor. I think the story was not ended there. What was his reaction and what came out of it?
Okay. Okay. So what I was talking to was actually the promoter, the owner of the institute and not the vice chancellor. What happened afterwards was exactly what we did. So we introduced what we call research experience for undergraduate education. In that particular university was one of our first case studies where we backward integrated the final year project across 6 semesters. And we allowed students to start doing research from the second and third year onwards. They were, instead of giving them what we call a final year project, we gave them what we called a research project. They were allowed to explore various areas that they wanted, pick up topics that they were interested in, do some literature survey on it, get access to the journals that they would ideally want, do a prototype or a design in the third year, and then the results of the same were presented in the final year as a final year dissertation. We allowed them something similar to a small PhD integrated into a bachelor program. And that was actually very successful. So today the university, not only have the number of students working on research has gone up, but the number of faculty have gone up because a faculty is involved in all of the student projects. And by say, some of the faculty who were not doing research originally have now started getting excited saying, I think this can be done. And that I think is the real game changer that we've been able to bring about. So one of the major things when we started off with that particular university was that we put in a thumb rule saying that we will not look at Scopus, we will only look at SCI indexed journal publications, even from student research. Out of the first case study that we did with around 1,000 students, I think around 172 students' projects were able to be published in SCI indexed journals. And I'm talking about conferences. The rest of them went to conferences, some of them published in national journals. And all of that is okay. As far as I'm concerned, any output that comes out of research is a good output, right? It is better than them submitting a 100-page dissertation that they don't know anything about.
True. Yeah. I'm Deepak Mashi, I work with Symantec. So my question is to Dr. Ghoshal. You mentioned about the design principles and these things. Now, the fact is that in India, we also have a huge population of disabled people, not just those, including many people who have temporary disability, okay? And of course, other things related to age, etc. So when you are looking at these design principles, are you also looking at those aspects also in terms of universal design principles?
Absolutely. You are absolutely on the dot. As a matter of fact, I'm no longer with NID, National Institute of Design. During my time only, we have already started a PG program exclusively on universal design. So, and the issue is that, it's only a question of doing. But when you say universal design, let me have the opportunity of educating the audience also. Please don't think that there is anything that has to be universal or non-universal. It's a kind of specific aspects that you keep in mind while designing a product. Yes, we do consider that.
You had a question, yeah.
This is Mitesh here. This question is to Dr. Ghoshal. Actually, the ideology what industry-academia partnership is actually the academia does the research for the industry. I tried a couple of times a few years back that actually, the psychology of the academicians, particularly in Bangalore and other places, was like that we would like to do a partnership if you are a IBM of the world. So ideally, the focus has to be like if a startup comes with a challenge that startup wants to solve, and this entrepreneur who is enterprising enough, who can actually be the Uber of the next Uber, he's facing a problem. If that academic can shake hand with that startup, it will be moving faster. Then actually, academia only wanting the big Bs and big companies. Actually.
So the question is, academia is more inclined to work with marquee names. So why can't you work with startups?
Yeah, this has also
Or
been
the inclination of academia is to work with the Intels and the IBMs of the world. But why can't you work with startups to make the next Uber happen? Am I understanding right?
Correct.
Yeah,
So
that's the question.
similar thing is already working in Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv University partners largely with startups, and they have
And,
created.
I was in
startup
the
hub.
other panel, Dr. Ghoshal, that came up there also that one of the panelists was talking about that he gets 65 applications from all over the world, but he gets only 3 from India to work in the rural area. So there's a tendency of academy to work in marquee names. So what are your observations?
Number one, I will certainly be interested, not only that, interested. Um, one of my major focus is to work with the startups because there is a word buzzing around is that how many startups succeed. I don't want to put a bombshell in the crowd, but there are two things which miss out, the most of the startups miss out. Because please understand, though currently I'm in Dehradun, I have sort of grown up in Bangalore during 2002 to 2015 when the entire startup collage started from Bangalore itself. Those two factors are
The longevity of the company.
no. The first one is design thinking. The second part is interaction design. Your idea is good, your product is good, but when the customer would be interacting with the product, these two parts are, I see, almost not much considered initially to begin with.
Just take one last question from there because Indu's already saying time's up. Yeah. Yeah. So last question.
Yeah, this
And
is
maybe
about
I'll
the
catch up with offline on this.
research and the innovation which he talked about. Basically, you said that it's the intuitive intelligence which is important. Like Einstein said all his life, that it is the intuitive intelligence which promotes research. So do you have an idea how to enhance the intuition in a person's mind, which will lead to better research and innovation?
So, absolutely. So, we do. See, one of the major things that we are trying to work on and where we believe is that every student has some ability or intuition or some spark in themselves. Everybody may not be great in academics. Everybody may not be great in everything. And a very nice example that we routinely talk about is how one of my classmates who had 26 backlogs was actually quite very good in graphics. But the teachers never recognized it until he started making movies on his own. So one of the things what we are trying to do is trying to build what we call inclusive education, where each student, when we work with them, each student gets works with a mentor on identifying what they are intuitively good at. It is, see, because when you talk about research per se, all of us as researchers understand how difficult it is to do it. And unless it's something that we are passionate about and we are good at, chances are we will give up on it some way, at some stage in our lives. You know, you try something a couple of times, it doesn't work out. Chances are you will drop it unless you have really passionate about it. So which is why even in the other case that I was mentioning,